to Unraveled Game Thoughts. It has been quite a while since I've done a video, and I'm actually trying a new setup here. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. But I'm doing a simple game to see how well this works. So today we have Vaalbara. I'm going to make sure I'm holding this up in the right place. Let's kind of see where these boom, 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 because I don't have a green screen. So we're going to go Vaalbara, and I can try to hold it up here as well if that helps. This is I think it's like a $20 game. It's pretty inexpensive. If you're familiar with Libertalia, Winds of the Grailcrest by Stonemaier Games, this might be, this is going to be a little bit similar to that. This is by Olivier Cipiere, and it looks like Studio H produces it. So, yeah, I thought I'd introduce this. This is not a solo game, but I'm going to kind of do a two-hand experience and try to walk through the game. It is a 2 to 5 player game, and it's pretty easy to scale the deck down. So I just set it up for 2-player game. I took out all the 3 plus player cards, and I already had the 4 plus player cards out of the deck, so I didn't have to even worry about them. I think the last time I played, we only played with 3 players. So I got 2 decks here, and a lot of the information you're going to need for this game is real super easy. It's readily available. There's 2-sided player cards, and each of these decks has 12 characters in it. And the front side of the card has what all the character powers are. So again, referring back to Libertalia, where each character could potentially have a different power, you're going to have these different powers there. And then there are 6 different land types, and each of those land types and what they do is on the back side of the card. Now, in addition to telling you what the land types do, the card also tells you how many of each land type are present in the deck based on your player count. So I know that's, when I've played with other folks, that's one of the things they're like, well, how many of this land is, how hard is this land going to be to obtain later in the deck, or what are my odds? You're not going to get through the whole land deck, most likely, and you're not going to get through all of your characters, most likely. Now, these over here are just point tokens, and you start the game with 2 point tokens per player. So, and forgive me, my table's a little messy because I just had some people over earlier today playing games. So we have our 2 decks, and at the beginning of the game, you're going to shuffle each player deck. So in Libertalia, everybody has everybody at the very beginning of the game has all the same cards in their hand, the same number. In Vaalbara, not everybody will have the same number. You don't know what they're going to have, so there's a little bit of eyeballing what are different people playing. So you have this lower row in the land area, and you have an upper row in the land area. The upper row is kind of what's coming. This is what it might be down here and obtainable by the other players. You might think of the land cards as maybe somewhat similar to the treasure that you get in Libertalia Winds of the Grailcrest. However, everyone's always going to get a land card. You won't take a turn in which you do not get a land card. Like in Libertalia Winds of the Grailcrest, you can get some of the treasure could be taken away or whatever, and you might end up with no treasure. You're always going to get a land card in this game, because when every player has 9 land cards in front of them, then the game's going to end. That's the last round. You count up your points, and whoever has the most wins. You might have noticed that 12 cards in the deck, 9 rounds, you're not going to use every card. There's going to be about 3 of them you end up not using, outside of like some, the special powers of the cards. So that's kind of a general idea, and I'll explain what each card in land does as we play the game. We'll most likely see most of them, and I'll run through a quick game as if I'm 2 players here. All these are just point tokens. They're just various values. When I've played with people, you usually want to make change with your point tokens. I'm going to leave these point tokens face up for the purposes of this game, but generally speaking, when you're playing the game, you're usually going to have your point tokens face down. You don't want other players to necessarily know how many points they have. It's kind of a secret piece of the game. It allows you to have some control over, you know, I guess people could memorize your points and they could know that way, and they could see your lands and they could probably kind of surmise how many points you probably have, but no one can know for sure as long as you keep them face down. All right, so to start the game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each player is going to get 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to double check that when I hold this up there, that is actually on screen. Ooh, that's going to be tough. I might hold it up to this little camera here, and unfortunately it's going to be pretty small, but if you're on a bigger monitor, hopefully you can see it. So I'm going to look through my hand, and I'll hold them out here so maybe they get captured on the overhead. But I've got a 4, an 8, a 9, a 10, and a 12. And these are the lands available to me. That's a forest card worth 3 points. It's not a lot of points, but there is a bonus at the end of the game for getting 1 of each type or 1 of 5 different land types. It's either 5 points for 5 types or 10 points for all 6 types. This one will only score 2 points for itself because it is here. So we're in kind of a tough deal here. However, I like the farmer because he's going to double the reward for the land I add to my realm this round. And either land is going to be pretty limited on points, but that can give me a double. Sometimes it's better if you can play it on something you know is going to score more points. This one has gained 2 points for each of your neighbors who played an odd initiative value. That's always taking a chance. Take a character back from your discard pile to your hand. Don't need that. Swap a land from the first land row with a land from the second land row. Now that's not too bad, but 1 point this round at least, and that's only 4. So it's not really helpful. And if you play after your neighbors this round, gain 5. Well, I think there's a good chance I end up playing after my neighbors this round. So this is going to be the card that this guy selects. Now, in a game with multiple players, I can't do this by myself, but you would each be selecting this card, and then you would reveal it simultaneously, and then I'll show you how they get sorted here in a second. So yellow player has 1, 5, 6, and 7. He's got the double the reward, but again, that's kind of like lame. Swap a land from the first or second land row with the top card from the land deck. Well, it's not a bad idea. Not much is going to get us fewer points than this, so it gives us the chance of getting something interesting. Gain 3 per forest in your realm. Well, that's not going to score anything much now. All players with a fighter in hand get 1. I get to go first, but I'm not competing over a lot here, so I'd rather save my 1 initiative. And I don't know if I said this, but the lower numbers go first in this, just like in Libertalia. And steal 2 from the player who played before you this round. Ooh. I could steal 2 if my opponent plays before me, but I also know there's not a lot to compete out there. So I kind of like the 7 card. So we would put these out there, reveal at the same time, and we see yellow is going to go first. So they're going to swap a land card from the first or second land row with the top card from the deck, which is basically any land card out here, with the top card of the deck. Now, this one is worth 2. I know he's going to get 5, so nothing I do is going to hurt my neighbor. That one's only worth 2 to me. It's only worth 2 to him. This is worth the most. So I might swap these 2 and see if I can get something worth a little more. Well, I didn't. That's worth 2. That's worth 2. They're all worth 2. So nothing's really helpful. This can stack with other ones like it, and there are 6 of them in the deck, so there's only 3 of these, but I might take the rarer land card. So this is going to go over here in yellow's area. Make sure that is being captured on the camera. I'm not missing something. Yeah, we'll just do yellow area over here, and we'll do the green lands here. Okay, so then green gets to go, and this will be yellow's used card. So we'll just kind of put that off to the side there. You activate the character first. So first I activate the character. If I played after my neighbors this round, which I did, I'm going to get 5. Again, that would normally be turned over, but since I'm demonstrating for the camera, I'm going to leave these face up so you can kind of see it. And then I pick a land. Well, I'm going to get this one. Oh, and I forgot to give him his 2, because this land here, I get 2 for each different land type I have, which includes itself. So I just get 2 for him. And this one over here, he is going to get 2 for each of these plains cards, which is just going to give him 2. Not too exciting. And then at the end of a turn, everybody draws a card up to 5, their hand size. And then we go again. Well, actually, this guy's here, so we're going to put those down there. They move to the first row, and these come out there. Okay. All right, so green. Let's see, do we want to double the reward for a land we pick? Well, that's not the worst. 6 or 4 if we get that other plains, or no, we don't have a plains. That one's going to give us 1, so that'd be 2 points, or that would be 8 points. That wouldn't be bad to get that 8-pointer, assuming the yellow player doesn't take it. 2 for each of your neighbors who played an odd initiative. That would be interesting. Take a character card back from your discard pile to your hand. Swap a land from the first or second row. Well, I kind of like the idea of getting that plains card there and maybe getting 4 points and giving my neighbor not much. But either way, this is probably going to be a good card to swap with the second row, because if I can avoid this one for now, it will keep me from just getting a point, which is great. So I'm going to pick my 9 card. Let's see, this guy's going to get 3 per forest. We'd like to get a forest, but we don't want to play that yet because we don't have a forest. 2 for each of your neighbors who played an odd initiative value. Could take a chance and see if I beat him. I'm kind of wanting to beat him to that. So I actually might go ahead and do my 1 so I can get that forest, because then I can use that other guy later. Alright, so these would be revealed simultaneously. Yellow is going to get to go first. If I have a fighter in my hand, which I do, I can reveal it and gain a buck. Or not a buck, a point. So, reveal that, get a point. He gets to go first. He's like, I want this forest. So, we're going to go do that, get the forest, and that immediately gives 4 points for the forest. And that is that. Now, the other thing you do when you play is you stack your character cards when you play them such that you can see everybody can see all the numbers. That way everybody can see what everyone has played. So think like Love Letter, how you're stacking those so that everybody can see all the numbers that have been played in the game. That's what you want to do here. So now this one played the 9, so I can swap a land from the first row with the second row. I could see that he's going to get forest and maybe go with that, but I'm going to swap that. And I'm going to take this and put it here. And now, because it's 2 for each of those, I get 4. So I'm going to take 5 and do that. In fact, I will just go ahead and turn that in for 10 for easy counting later. And then that's going to go to my hand there, and we draw a card. So now we each have 2 lands. All right, let's see. Green is going... What is green going to want? Well, we have another one of those coming up. That's not bad. I see a red coming up. Not too bad. Double the reward. Don't want to accidentally have to get one of those reds with that. Could take a chance, try to get a couple with an odd initiative value. I actually don't care which of those I get. So I'm actually going to play my 8, and then I will take a character card from my discard back to my hand, because I really like that 9 card. It is very handy. Let's see. odd initiative value. If I can get that forest, that will be very good. Because I have this other card that gets me more for forest, so I kind of like that idea. I don't want to go too late. I could take a chance with 2. I don't want to gain 3 for forest in my realm yet. Everything else is kind of late except for the 6. Steal 2 from the player who played before me this round. So if my opponent is trying to go before me this round, I might do that, but I don't know that I don't know what they're going after hard for yet. Maybe just a different lands. They might not care. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 4 initiative value and see how that plays out. Well, it turns out yellow gets to go first. So nobody played an odd initiative value. So this is a more powerful card with higher player counts. So no money for the card, but then get to pick a land. Definitely going to pick this forest and put that in my tableau, and that's going to give me 3 more. So I'll get a 5 and put 2 back. In fact, we will pop a 10 out there for that. And then our 4 goes to our discard pile, lined up nicely like that. And then we will, the green player will go, and I can take a character card from my discard pile back into my hand, which I will do, and then I will take this, which will give me 1 point. It's not much, but it can help with trying to get all the lands in the different types. So we're going to go here, and we get 2 more. Oh man, a lot of those kind of stacked up. All right. Now, I don't draw up to 5. You only draw a card if you need to get up to 5. I'm already at my 5 hand size because of what I did. So I know swapping the first and second row isn't going to be terribly helpful. Doubling my reward, that could be not bad, although I could end up with 4. And that's kind of sketchy. Honestly, I think I like swapping a land from the first or second row with the top card of the deck. Just to see what I can possibly get. Alright, so we could steal from a neighbor who played before us this round. Right now, yellow player is probably just kind of looking at what are the options for snagging a different land. Swap a land from your realm with the bottom card of the deck. How many forests are in this deck? There are 5, and I've got 2 of them. So I could wait to play this guy until I have more lands, maybe get more forests. That might be better. I might take a character card back from my discard pile to my hand. That might be the option that I go with. And it turns out that green is going to go first this time. So they get to swap a land from the first or second row with the top card from the land deck. This is interesting. I think what we're going to do is swap this out, because I like the idea of giving that player 1 card, a 1-point card, and I will take this. And now that's going to give me 2 per, so I'm going to get 6 for that. So if I just take 10 and put 4 back, there we go. Yeah. And that's going to leave player 2. I can take a character card back into my hand. Now player 2 wants this number 1 card so that they can grab stuff that they really want first, and they're going to end up with this card, which is going to give them 2 points because it looks at every meadow out on the board. So 1 for their meadow, 1 for mine. They get 2. All right, and then we go down. Yellow has an extra card this time, and so I'm going to draw up to 5. Let's see what we want to do. Now, I see that they're going the forest, so I might want to try to snag that forest just to get a forest and not end up with the same thing. The other thing you might end up is a tie. And the way ties are broken is based on each of these cards is kind of different, and it has a different order of players by the symbol for how ties are broken. So I can look here and I can see that green is going to be higher priority than yellow. So I know if there's a tie, green's going to go first this round. Well, I don't necessarily want that meadow. I'd rather get that forest, so I'm going to play my fighter. The yellow player is trying to decide what they want to do here. They don't want 3 in the forest. They want that green too, and they're going to take a chance that I'm not trying to go hard after that green. So we flip them over. Oh, we both have fighters, which means neither of us are going to have a fighter in our hands, so neither of us are going to get a coin for it, but green's going to get to go first because it is the tiebreaker at this point in the game. So he's going to get that and 3 points. And then yellow is going to get to go, and they're going to get this lovely meadow, and that's going to give them 1, 2, 3 points as well. So still about the same number of points either way, but honestly that was probably more detrimental for yellow and what they were doing than it was for green. Alright, so we draw our card up to our hand size, and next round. So the question is, the meadow is worth 4 points, that is worth 5. This is one of those situations where getting double reward would not be bad. And it wouldn't matter what I get at this point. Now I could swap a land from the first row with a land from the second row, but I like the double point value. I think this is a strategic time in the game to do the double point value. The yellow player, they could steal 2 from a player who played before me this round. Is the green player going to play before me? Don't know. Double my reward, so if I get that green card, which I really want that forest card, that would be helpful. I think, though, I really want that forest card, so I'm going to take a chance and play this bard and see if I get lucky. So yellow plays the bard. So yellow will get to go first. So a player has to be the other player. He's going to get 2, which means, but they get to pick a land first, and they're going to get that land, so that's going to give them 5 points. Alright, so we'll just pop that in there and put a 10 there. And then the green player is going to get to go, and he's going to double the reward value. So he gets the meadow, which is going to be worth 1, 2, 3, 4, doubled to 8. 8 points. Not too bad. Alright, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. We're going to go ahead and turn these in for a 25, so we can kind of see the scoring pretty easily there. And then we draw up to our hand size and move our things down. Wow, we are getting a lot of those. Alright, mountains. Now there's only 4 mountains in the deck, and you have to get 2 of them to get 10 points and 4 of them to get 20 points, which means the first and the third one you get are worth nothing. That makes this a very interesting dynamic here, if anybody wants that or not. Could be worth a lot of points, but takes some work. Alright. Intriguing. Let's see. There is one I thought I had here. That 2-pointer is not bad. That one's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for whoever gets it. That one would be 2 points for him, but 8 points for me. Could swap a land. See if I get lucky. Well, I could take a chance. I'd kind of rather get that plains, well, actually, you know what? What I could do is make the next one not matter as much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6. I'm going to go for the different land types and see what I get. So green's going to play the number 9. Alright, yellow. Now is not a bad time to play that forest card. Swap a land from your realm with the bottom card of the deck. I could swap a meadow out and see if I get lucky. And then maybe I'll get a forest and then get to play one more. In fact, I think doubling a reward is not bad, but I think I like swapping. I'm going to try the swap land and see if I get lucky here. So then green's going to end up going first again. So I can swap a land with the first row with a land from the second row. So I'm actually going to swap those lands, and I'm going to grab this while I have a chance. And we'll put that there. And that gives me a mountain. This gives me no points, but that's okay. I'm really setting up for hopefully a bigger turn later. And then 11 is going to swap a land from their realm, which is that's what the name of the area where your cards are, with a land from the bottom of the deck. Ah, you got a mountain. So both of them now might be going after mountains, and then after he swaps that land, it would trigger if it came to their field, but it's not, so they're going to get that 1, 2, 3, 4 points for that, and then we're going to be on to the next round. All right. Let's see. We'll slide those down. And as you can see, it's getting pretty, like, we're getting down to the last few turns here. So it gets kind of hairy toward the end. We have the hunter. If you play before your neighbors this round at a 3. Now he's played a 1 and a 2, so I know playing a 3 is going to give me the opportunity to go first, although in yellow is going after green this round. So that would guarantee me getting the land I want. Steal 2 from the player play before you this round. If he went before me, not bad. 3 for forest in my realm, but I only got 1 forest, not too helpful. 2 for each of your neighbors who played an odd initiative value. That's taking a chance. And here's a 2 that guarantees I go first, but gives him 2 coins. Well, I think I am going to guarantee that I play before him, but get to get some coins and get a card I want. So what is he going to do? Now he's got a 3, but if I play the 3, I'm yellow, and he plays a 3, I don't have a tiebreaker, so I'd rather not lose the tiebreaker again. Steal 2 from the player played. So if he plays before me, I get, if I play a 6, but let's say he's played his 9, so he could be playing his 11, possibly, which would swap a land from your realm with the bottom card of the deck. So that is, maybe he has an 11, which he wouldn't play after me. 3 per forest. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this forest because I don't want to take a chance on it not getting played, and it's a lot of points. So green's going to end up going first again. If you play before your neighbors this round, you gain 3. So that's going to give me 3 just for the card. And then I pick a land, and I'm going to go ahead and grab another meadow or field there, because that's going to give me 8. And I like getting 8 there. So let's see. Let's go ahead and turn that in for a 10. We'll keep those ones. All right. Then this one's going to go. First, he's going to gain 3 per forest in the realm, which is 3, 6, 9. That was a good play. For 9, oh, I don't have any 1s there, so we'll just get 9. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that in for a 25. And then we are going to grab this land, which is going to give yellow another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll go 5. We'll go ahead and turn that in for a 10. You can probably, if you're watching the scores, you can see they're fairly close. It looks like green has the edge, but it can change pretty significantly as the game, we'll see how it goes as the game progresses. So I've got 4, I draw my last card, he's got his 4, draws his last card, and we are on to the final round of the game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one more land for each of us, and that's game. So green wants to keep his lead. That mountain card would be money. And I don't have any way of getting one of those top cards, like swapping them out, which would give me a bonus 5 for having 5 different land types. That's worth 10 points, but that is also worth 10 points and kind of stealing 10 points from him. So I'm going to go with the Bard because that is almost guaranteed I get to go first. Alright, now, the yellow player, if he plays after his neighbors, he can gain 5. So I could try to count on the green player really going after that 10, and I could probably get 5 for that, not bad. Doubling my reward, not bad, but it could only be 4 points. If I get that one, I'm going to get 20, but going last, odds are I'm not getting that one, so that's probably not an option. I can steal 2 from the player who played before me this round. Well, there's a good chance I could steal 2, so that's actually one to consider. If I play before my neighbors this round, I can gain 3. Well, he hasn't used his 2. Odds are I'm not going to be playing first. So that one is probably out, and I can swap a land from the first land row with land from the second land row. Well, that one's pretty intriguing, because if I swap one of these lands, I could swap a mountain out if I ended up going first, and that would give me 2, 4, 6, 8. So the question is, what's going to give me the most bang for my buck here? This guy's only worth 2 points to me, but if I get that, I will get a 5-point bonus for having 5 land types, which is not bad. If I happen to steal 2 from him, that could give me an edge, but getting 5 is actually a better point differential and probably the best chance I have. So I'm going to go with 10. In that case, green's going to go first, so he is going to get 2 for that, and then I get to pick a land. Well, I'm definitely taking this mountain, and that's going to give me 10 points and keep him from getting those 10 points. And then he is going after all his neighbors, which is going to give him 5 points, and is going to get this land, which is going to give him 2 more points. And since yellow ended the game with all of those, with 5 different land types, yellow is going to get another 5 points. So we'll turn in this for another 25, and this will turn in for another 25, and that is the game. So nobody got 6 different land types. We do all our points, and that's it. We have finished the game here, and green ended with 55, and yellow ended with 53. Now, obviously, you know, me trying to outwit myself, double-handing this is rather challenging. But in a multiplayer game with lots of players, it becomes a little bit more complex, the different kinds of decisions and strategies you can make, and you add 1 land per player you have. So this was a 2-player game, 3-player game, we'd have 3 in each row, 4-player game, we'd have 4 in each row. So pretty easy scale-wise. Very small box. This is not a large box by any means. So it takes, I mean, maybe 30 minutes to play this game. I don't even have to take 30 minutes. If you have 5 players, it can be up to 30 minutes. But it's a pretty quick game. We took this with us to the Grand Tetons recently, and it was easy to pull out and play. We had a lot of fun. Probably played about 3, 4, 5, 6 games of it. I can't remember exactly how many we played, but we were able to bust it out pretty quick, and my kids liked it. My 14 and 10-year-old, both, or rather 12 and 14-year-old. I know my kids' age. Yeah. They both loved it, and so yeah, that is Vaalbara for you. Thanks for watching today. Again, it's been a long time since I posted a video. It's just been busy and got a lot going on in life right now. But if you like the video, subscribe. Love to have comments. So if you enjoyed this, then definitely leave some comments. Let me know what you think. If you played the game, I'd love to hear what your experience with the game was. If you played Libertalia, Winds of the Galekrest, and you've played this one and you've had a chance to compare them, I'd be curious. I don't think this replaces Winds of the Galekrest. I will say that I have Winds of the Galekrest and I enjoy that game, and it's different. And the difference really is that this is a fairly friendly game. Winds of the Galekrest is not nearly as friendly, and you can make it even less friendly by flipping the board over to the dark side. It's a little bit more dynamic, I think, than this game. But this is a pretty good game that offers enough dynamic gameplay for such a small box. It's not a bad filler, and you get to the end of the game, and usually the point differential is pretty small, generally speaking, with pretty evenly matched games. I was just kind of playing myself there, so I was playing roughly probably the same strategy, really, for 2 different hands, and you saw that the scores only differed by like 3 points. So it's pretty easy to, pretty tight margins in the game. Yeah, that's it. And I am again still planning to do a drawing for any Patreons who decide. I'll post in the description my Patreon page. It's probably not the best Patreon page, I'm going to be honest. I don't go in and update it on a regular basis. It's pretty, there's a few things on there I think that are Patreon only kind of content, but there's not a ton. I hope to add more, but right now this is a side, is a hobby. I'm not investing terribly much in this, but I am planning to do a drawing for anybody who is a Patreon at the end of September. And my goal is to do a quarterly drawing for a game in my collection that I am looking at moving on from. I am trying to be a little savvy about that. I'm not just throwing out my garbage games into this drawing. The first game is actually a new in shrink copy of It's a Wonderful Kingdom, 2-player version of It's a Wonderful World, and I happen to have got a copy of it that I didn't need, and decided that's gonna be the first drawing, first one I give away at the end of September. I'll just randomly put in basically a number, put names in a hat. Whoever the Patreons are, I'll put them in there, and I will announce a winner. If you want your name announced, I will definitely do that, post that on the channel. But if you don't care, or you'd prefer to remain anonymous, I will also honor that and just leave your name off. But I will at least say somebody won the game, and I don't know, if they want to be anonymous, then hey, I'm not going to be able to prove that I mailed a game, but I will, I guess, if they ask their name to be revealed, then there you go. So that is it for Unraveled Game Thoughts today. I will try to do some more content here in the near future, but probably more like online stuff that I can pretty easily record and get played. The live videos are a little more, I'm still working on a good structure because I don't have a lot of space to do it. So this was a new way to use my game table as an option for doing that. So I also didn't check my background, so I have no idea if there's anything like, I don't think there's anything incriminating in my background. I don't know why there would be, but, you know, sometimes I forget to check that. But there you go. Thanks, and until next time, have a great week.